Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nitro once again, and this is going to be another predictions video. So, it's time to bet on black, cash your chips in, and some other third gambling reference. It's time for Double or Nothing. And so, AEW's Double or Nothing is taking place live from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And it's going to be the first Double or Nothing to be at the MGM Grand. And 5 years ago, you know what happened 5 years ago? The first Double or Nothing. So, of course, the 5 year anniversary of AEW as a company, as a brand, what have you, who taking place at the MGM Grand, and again is actually pretty. That's actually pretty cool. Well, at least for me, I think it's pretty cool how 5 years later AEW is returning to the MGM Grand, and technically, I think technically the last, I think technically like the official anniversary was yesterday. But nevertheless, off by a day or so. But nevertheless, so Double or Nothing time. So of course, it's time for some predictions and for later on tonight. So if you've seen these predictions of mine before, you kind of already know this. Of course, if you haven't, kind of similar to the predictions we did yesterday for King and Queen of the Ring, and pretty much I'm going to be going match by match. I'm going to talk about who I think is going to win, and and of course, as always, this is just the order that they have them here on the wiki. Doesn't mean it's the actual order they will be in the show itself, with one or two exceptions. But without further ado, let's get right into it. But actually, really quick before we get into it, just want to let you guys know that I'm kind of trying something new when it comes to how I'm going to be watching Double or Nothing. So usually I order it through Bleacher Report, but this time around I took the chance and I ordered it from Triller TV, aka the artist formerly known as Fight TV. So they made their way over to the States, especially after so many people were having problems with AEW Revolution. So now it's on Fight TV / Triller TV. So I'm gonna see if I can watch it from there. So hopefully the experience goes really well. A lot of people will say that usually their experience with Fight TV goes really well. Some people even prefer it over Bleacher Report. So we'll see how it goes. But without further ado, let's get right into the matches and my predictions. So we do have two matches on the pre-show. The first being a one-on-one, as Thunder Rosa will be taking on Deonna Purrazzo. Of course, Thunder Rosa back at Dynasty. If you haven't already, go check out my review of AEW Dynasty. Took on Timeless Tony Storm, and Deonna Purrazzo also took on Tony Storm at I believe their match was at Revolution, and Deonna kind of been making her presence known, trying to help out Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa's having none of it, so now it's come to this match here. So between these two, I probably. This one could go either way. Hey, I might go to, and I imagine probably whoever wins might be back in the fold when it comes to battling for the Women's World Championship. But I think I might go with Deonna here. Thunder Rosa, she's been champion already, and she does have quite a bit of momentum. But if Deonna goes back into it and goes back to challenging for the championship, I wouldn't mind seeing that. So, I think we'll go with Deonna Purrazzo here. But then next up in trios action, the Acclaim, that being Platinum Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Daddy Ass Billy Gunn. Why doesn't Anthony Bowens get a nickname? Unless he already has one. But they're going up against Cage of Agony, that being Brian Cage, and the Gates of Agony, that being Toa Leona and Bishop Khan. And if I mispronounce either of those names, I do apologize. But of course, the big thing with the big thing with the Acclaim is that they're on the pre-show again, and which does kind of suck. But the other thing with the I guess a payday is a payday, but the other thing with the Cage of Agony is that they have split. It's the Mobile Embassy is no more. Or Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony, they turned on Swerve Strickland, and they turned on him a couple of weeks ago. I think I forgot to mention that in my when I reviewed Dynasty, although it's more of a hindsight thing. They turned on him obviously after Swerve won the title, but Yeah, so they're split it from Mogul MC. Mogul MC is no more, or they'll kind of go on their own. So this one could go either way. Yeah, but I think I might go with the acclaim, but it would be nice for Cage Agony to get some more momentum. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with Cage of Agony here. I think we'll go with the see if they can get some momentum now that they're on their own. Maybe the thing is, like Brian Cage and Swerve, they've already faced, but perhaps they'll come back up. Who knows? But now getting into the show proper, we're in a barbed wire steel cage match for the AEW TNT Championship. Adam Copeland will be defending against Malachi Black. So, Adam Copeland's been having his issues with the House of Black, like as of late. And including Malachi Black being hit with a bloodbath. I think it was on Dynamite, if I'm not mistaken, in this past Dynamite. But Adam Copeland also alluding to and I don't see it listed as like a stipulation here, so it might not be the case here on the wiki. That is, but Adam Copeland was at least alluded to potentially joining the House of Black if he loses, or the House of Black potentially joining him. But as for this one, as much as I love Adam Copeland, Malachi Black could really use the win here and get the TNT Championship. So I think I'm gonna go with Malachi Black here, I think even more extra odds are gonna be on this with Malachi Black's contract being set to come up, that being like when it expires and stuff like that. So I think this could determine that, so we'll see. But I think I'm going to go with Malachi Black here. It would be cool to see him get the win. But then next up, for the AEW International Championship, Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Kingdom, who, of course, being flanked by the Kingdom, that being Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, will be defending against Will Ospreay, the Aerial Assassin. So, Ospreay, of course, first came into the AEW fold at Revolution and had a hell of a match against Bryan Danielson at Dynasty. And now, already going after some championship gold in the form of the International Championship. And meanwhile, Roderick Strong beat Orange Cassidy for the International Championship being for the International Championship at Revolution and defended it against Kyle O'Reilly at Double or Nothing. So both men with a decent amount of momentum here. Now, even though Will Ospreay does have to lose at some point, not sure if he'll lose this early on in his AEW run, but there's a chance, especially if the rumors are true of Will Ospreay potentially taking the AEW World Title from Swerve Strickland at All In, but. But I think I'm gonna. But this one I could see going either way. But I think unless they give like Ospreay a really short reign with the International Championship, which I always hate when they do that. It's not the first time they've done it. I'm sure it won't be the last. But like, hey, what's the point of giving them a short reign with the title? If they're just going to drop it. Especially, now, if they have a short reign and then drop it to somebody else, I think that's a little bit more manageable. But I especially hate when they have a short reign and then just drop it back to the guy they lost it to, the guy, or girl, obviously, that they lost it to in the first place. It's like, what's the point? but yeah, I think I'm going to go with, you know, I'm sticking with my guy. I think I'm gonna go with Will Ospreay on this one. And something's telling me to go with Will Ospreay. Hey, and again, these are all just my opinions / predictions. So, let me know what your predictions are in the comments. But speaking of Orange Cassidy, he's getting set to go against his former best friend Trent Beretta. So Trent Beretta turned on Orange Cassidy, turned on Chuck Taylor, ended his career, and as of last night in Collision, has also seemingly turned on Rocky Romero. So best friends are no more, and these two, they've already faced on TV, but it looks like they're facing again. And I'm not talking about when they faced off for the International Championship, how Orange Cassidy was International Champion, being during his like first run and everything. But I'm talking about after Trent and turn on Orange Cassidy, which is kind of weird. Why, if they're gonna face off at the pay-per-view, why have them face off again off on TV? Like I hate when they do that. AEW's done that quite a bit. And admittedly WWE they've done it too, but I always hate that. Like, what's the point of them just giving the match on TV if you're gonna book it on the pay per view anyway? You might as well just hold out for the pay per view. But nevertheless, they're facing again on pay per view unless it's something that demands like a rematch match. And I'm not talking about like a match that happened on TV a while ago and then it happens on pay per view much later. Or that is fine. But I'm like talking about like stuff that happens so close together, or to where it's like, why is this happening on TV? Why isn't it happening at the pay per view? Like if a match happened on on TV and then the pay per view is like in like a week or two, and then they also put it on the pay per view, it's like, well, what's the point? And it's not like again, let me know if this is making any sense, but not like they have a match and then a few months or even years down the line they put it on pay per view and stuff. That I think is fine, but that's kind of just my rationale. Let me know what you guys think. But as for this one, nevertheless, I think I'm gonna go with it. I think Orange got the win previously when they previously faced off, so I think I might go with Trent there. I'm just gonna look up to see who won, because sadly I missed that. I missed the episode of Dynamite. I do admittedly I am kind of behind on some episodes and stuff, but nevertheless I think I'm gonna go with actually I think I'm gonna go with Orange. Admittedly I am kind of split. No, I'm gonna stick with my gun. I think I'm gonna go with Trent Beretta on this one. Give him some momentum, maybe give him a little push and stuff like that. But next up in trios action for the Unified World Trios Championships. My apologies. He's the Bang Bang Gang, that being Jay White and the Guns. So I guess they're not called Bullet Club Gold anymore. But they're going to be defending against the Reunited Death Triangle. Reunited, and it feels so good. So a couple things. For starters, I'm glad to see Death Triangle reunited again, as are a lot of people. But what I'm also glad to see is that the Trios Championships are back on the main show. Yes, that's finally. It's been way too long since the Trios Championships have been defended on the main show, but they're going to be on the main show here. And even though Death Triangle just reunited, the Bang Bang Gang just won them at having the Trios Championships, just won them at Dynasty. So I don't think they're gonna drop them just yet, because then it'd be kind of pointless them winning. But it wouldn't be the worst thing they've done to Jay White so far. Learn more about that in my Has AEW Ruined Jay White discussion video I did a little while back. But I think for this one, I think I'm gonna go with the Bang Bang Gang. I think they're gonna retain here, but hopefully the Death Triangle still looks really solid in defeat. And with Pac kind of have his thing with Okada, perhaps it'll lead to the Elite versus the Death Triangle. But then again, that could mean the Trio Championships are on the line there. But we'll see. But I think, I'm going to go with the Bang Bang Gang on this one. But then next up in a three-way FTW rules match for the FTW Championship, Chris Jericho, the FTW Champion. Yeah, you heard me right. Will be defending against Hook and Katsuyori Shibata. Of course, Hook lost the FTW Championship to Chris Jericho at Dynasty. Why did Hook lose the FTW Championship to Chris Jericho at Dynasty? He granted like the learning tree kind of thing they've been doing has been pulling people in which Big Bill Hill is going to be accompanying. It looks like, at least according to Wiki here, is going to be accompanying Chris Jericho to the ring. But why did they need to have Jericho with the FTW Championship? Why did Hook have to? I'm not against Hook losing the FTW Championship, just why Chris Jericho? Somebody who probably needs it the least. I'm not saying that for like Chris Jericho as a person, but as a wrestler, like Chris Jericho, multiple-time world champion. What's he need the FTW title for? Multiple-time world champion, Intercontinental champion, stuff like that. Multiple-time champion in AEW. what the hell does he need the FTW championship for? But nevertheless, and this also came about after her I believe it was a three-way between Hook, Katsuyori Shibata, and Brian Heath, the bounty hunter, and I guess that determined who would get a shot here. But both Hook and Shibata ended up tapping out Brian Keith, so I guess they both got this opportunity. Even though I don't always catch up with like Dynamite and stuff like that, I still try my best to keep in the loop. But if there's any details I'm forgetting on stuff, I do apologize. But yeah. So as for this one, normally I say it'd be kind of dumb to take the title off them after they just won it, but here I'll make an exception. And Hook, please get the FTW Championship back. I'm rooting for you, Hook. Please get the FTW Championship back. Now, admittedly, Jericho's kind of persona of being somewhat passive aggressive, trying to act like he's on Hook's side and trying to teach him a lesson or something, while blatantly being very much not the hero here. Admittedly, is kind of an interesting dynamic, and of course, Jericho, the master of reinvention, stuff like that. But at the same time. Hook, please beat him. Please, or Shibata. Like, if Katsuyori Shibata won, I don't think I'd be mad at that either. But especially Hook, please beat him. Please take the title from him. Please take the title back. But also, I wonder if Jericho will get more "Please Retire" chants. I can't believe I forgot to mention that during my Dynasty review. The "Please Retire" chants. Like, the people have definitely fully turned on Chris Jericho. At this point. But nevertheless, as next up for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match, Jon Moxley, he is going to be battling the Alpha. Konosuke Takeshita, who's going to be accompanied, of course, by Don Callis. And the stipulation here is, if Takeshita wins, he will receive a future IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match, which, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that kind of also the point of the Eliminator? But nevertheless, unless, of course, Jon Moxley, IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, not too long ago, and Takeshita and Moxley have been going at each other. Hard to think, about almost a year ago or so, they were kind of sort of on the same side battling the Elite. But this time around, Moxley and Takeshita duking it out for the at least in the championship eliminator. I imagine this would be a way to get Takeshita the win and set up for him to potentially take the title from Mox without Mox losing the championship right away. So I think I'm gonna go with Takeshita here, and hopefully this improves Konosuke Takeshita's mood, because apparently he's not really that fond of how he is in AEW, at least from what I've heard. I did hear about it through the interviews and stuff like that, but nevertheless, so I think I'm gonna go with Takeshita here. But then next up for the AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm will be defending against Serena Deeb. AEW, Tony Khan, I ask you as I always do, please give us this match in black and white. At this point, it's got to be a meme. I might make a t-shirt, but I do need some merch anyway. Hey, but this time I might make a t-shirt about it. Just give me my match in black and white for Timeless Toni Storm. Or you had the moment in black and white. You thought that would satiate me. Granted, it didn't, but it's a start. It's a start at least. Come on, Tony, please. I promise, is if you just give me one Toni Storm match in black and white, one Toni Storm match in black and white, on the pay-per-view for the championship, I promise, I will stop asking about it. Maybe they're holding out for her final defense before she loses the title. Oh, but the question is, will this be it? Will she lose the title here against Serena Deeb, the Professor Serena Deeb? And kind of an interesting heel versus heel match. At least I think Serena Deeb is still heel, but nevertheless, I don't think Toni Storm's dropping it to Serena Deeb just yet. But so I think I'm gonna go with Toni Storm here. But of course, please, it's just one match in black and white. I promise you have my word. I will stop asking about it if we just get one match in black and white, like, for the title. I promise I'll stop asking about it. But that's of course not the only women's championship on the line. As for the AEW TBS championship, Willow Nightingale will be defending against Mercedes Moné. So Mercedes Moné made her AEW debut, who back at Big Business. But here she's gonna make her in-ring debut. They played off kind of the rivalry that Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné have been having, going back to Japan with Willow getting the win over Mercedes Moné, and what I didn't know until they brought it up, that was a match where Mercedes got injured and was on the shelf for a while. Well, of course, and that was amid, like, the contract negotiations. People were wondering whether or not she would be going to AEW or back to WWE, but. But as for her, this match here, of course, the ladies have exchanged some words and some fisticuffs. So I think there's probably a chance that Mercedes will win the TBS championship here in her first match in the company. Although, admittedly, it's kind of bittersweet, because on one hand I like Willow Nightingale, but also on the other hand, like Mercedes Moné just waltzing in and just getting the shot pretty much because he asked for, or who she thinks she is, Goldberg, but her hitting the shot like almost off the bat and then winning it almost off the bat. Granted, it's not like the Women's World Championship, it's the TBS Championship, which is more like the mid-card, which is obviously like, the mid-card title and stuff. So I guess it stings a little less, but I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I think I'm gonna go with Mercedes Moné there. That, and to get her the win back over Willow Nightingale. But at least the feud and everything has been interesting, and we wait to see what role, if any, Chris Statlander or possibly even Julia Hart play in this. Or not Julia Hart, she's still injured, if I'm not mistaken. But especially Chris Statlander, will she play a role, if any, in this match? But next up, the Anarchy in the Arena match, as the Elite, that being Kazuchika Okada, Jack Perry, and the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, aka the EVPs, of course, will be battling Team AEW, who that being Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, and FTR, that being Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. So originally in place of Darby Allin was Eddie Kingston, but if my camera would like to focus this. Thank you. But Eddie Kingston broke his leg, so he's out of the match. Darby Allin is in, even though Darby Allin just got hit by a bus not too long ago. But nevertheless, coming back in and battling this match, and Darby Allin showing up with a freaking flamethrower. Like Darby Allin just showing up with a flamethrower, one of like the coolest things, which is, it's one of those things that I love about AEW. Like, it's why I couldn't hate AEW even if I wanted to, because as they pull out cool stuff like that with like the flamethrower. Meanwhile, of course, Hirsch Okada and Jack Perry joined up with the Young Bucks, forming a new Elite Heat of Swords. Of course, Jack Perry, the scapegoat, helped out the Young Bucks back at Dynasty, to help them, help the Young Bucks win the tag titles. I probably accidentally called Dynasty Revolution, or vice versa, at another point in this video. So, if that did happen, I do apologize. But nevertheless, as for this one, I honestly could see going either way, but I think I'm gonna go with the Elite here. They're kind of to further their storyline of like the Elite Heat taking over AEW, kind of like their hostile takeover of AEW and everything. So I think I'm gonna go with the Elite here. And last but certainly not least, he's for the AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland will be defending against Christian Cage. Of course, Swerve Strickland flanked by Prince Nana and his over as hell dance, and Christian Cage, of course, flanked by the the patriarchy, that being, of course, Killswitch Nick Wayne and Mother Wayne. And I'm surprised Christian Cage and Jack Perry haven't had an interaction since Jack Perry's come back. But then again, two different storylines, and for all I know, they might have, and I probably just missed it. But nevertheless, of course, won the championship back at back at Dynasty. He and Christian Cage almost immediately going against him, even compelling Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony to turn on Swerve. Now Swerve without the Mogul Embassy, he only got Prince Nana unless Prince Nana turns on him. And I did mention earlier that. I did mention earlier that Swerve might be defending / possibly dropping the World Championship to Will Ospreay at All In, and so I think with that I'm gonna go with Swerve here. Plus Christian Cage. Admittedly, while it would be nice for him to have the AEW World Championship, I don't think he really needs it at this point in his career. He's very much made and everything. It would be nice, but I don't think Christian Cage is gonna get it here. But yes, I'm gonna go with Swerve Strickland picking up the win here. But ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. What do I think will be the strongest and weakest match of the night? For my pick for strongest match of the night, I think will probably be there's a few candidates here. This I would say is a pretty solid card for the most part. Maybe not quite as solid hit on the whole as Dynasty, but it's still a really solid card on paper. So I think probably the match of the night, and kind of similar to what I do when I do the actual review itself, I think I'm going to try to stick to one strongest and weakest match of the night. So strongest, I'm probably going to go with the Anarchy in the Arena match. As for the weakest, probably Trent versus Orange, and nothing against them, but compared to everything else, I think I'm gonna go with Trent versus Orange as the weakest match. But ladies and gentlemen, those are my predictions. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see as it drops. And let me know in the comments below your predictions for Double or Nothing tonight. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.